Welcome to season 2, episode 1. Today we're going to have the news and all the news that's fit to print. And who do you think is the number 1 Intercontinental champion? All that and more from season 2, episode 1 of Just Another Effing Podcast. Damn it. Hey, and welcome. We have been renewed, ladies and gentlemen, for season 2. This is episode 1. Damn it. Holy cow. Canada Dry, can you believe that we got renewed by the effing Wrestling Media Worldwide Production Studios to go ahead?
Well, we got a bit of an inside track because we are effing studios, damn it.
So we decided to renew ourselves for season 2. I can tell you this.
Whoa.
There will be more sophomore humor.
Back up.
Okay.
Introduce yourself, sir.
Oh, yes, of course. I am, of course, one half of the greatest and four-time world tag team champion of wrestling podcast history. I am the JFB.
And it's me, the patron saint of professional wrestling. I'm that bubbly, gingered up son of a bitch. I'm Canada Dry, damn it.
Oh, yeah. Season 2.
We have the intros. Without the intros, it's not quite the same.
It's stale, man. It's stale. So let me tell you, season 2, we've decided that, and Joseph Graham, hello to you too, my friend. So season 2, we decided not only are we going to have more sophomoric humor, we're going to be less mediocre, but above all, 38.4.
Someone called us mediocre the other day.
Somebody called us mediocre. Can you believe it on Twitter? Jeez. But out of all that, the one thing I will promise, and this is from the JFB, 38.4% more shenanigans in season 2. Heck, you know what? Let's round it up to 39% more shenanigans in season 2.
By the end of this year, I promise you, and you can take this promise to the bank, Hulk Hogan will be on this show.
Hulk Hogan is going to be on this show. By the end
of 2022, I promise you that.
I cannot wait.
Way, damn it.
So before we get to the news and to the main event, we decided we're going to do our December giveaway. It's going to be the Owen Hart tribute shirt. So I have, of course, the Wheel of Awesomeness. I will press it 3 times. And let's see who comes up. The
Wheel of Awesomeness is spinning. Who won?
Dylan Jr., Dylan Jr.
Didn't he already win?
No, I don't think he won.
Oh, that was Dylan Keene.
Yeah, that was Dylan Keene, yeah.
Okay, so, Dylan Jr., congratulations. You are the winner of this fine shirt right here.
Yes, the Owen Hart tribute shirt. So I will send you an email out probably within the next couple of days. You'll just respond back with your mailing address. We'll send you an Effin' Wrestling t-shirt and a voodoo doll of the people who keep calling us mediocre, damn it.
Person.
Yeah, person. So on that, let's go ahead and get to what I like to call the news. And you ready for this? New year, new news intro. We have a news intro now. Yes.
Oh, that's exciting.
All right, here we go. Here's the news. What an intro, man. That thing is worth $1 million.
I felt like I was getting ready to see Tom Brokaw and like
on this week in wrestling news.
Walter Cronkite, I thought was going to pop his head in. Like
he's just sitting there smoking a cigarette. So before we get to the rest of the news, a big shout out to Betty White, who passed away at 99. Giving off breaking news vibes. Yes, we are, Mr. Graham. We are breaking news, even though it's about a week or late than when it comes out. But it's breaking news in the world of effing wrestling. So Betty White passed away at 99. I think she should be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I don't know if she's ever appeared on WWE television. I think she has.
Anyways,
but just put her in there, damn it. I mean, this woman was, you knew that the world was okay as long as Betty White was alive. and unfortunately, she's not, which
Thank
makes me
you for
question.
being a friend.
Makes me wonder what 2022 has in store for us, because I have a feeling it's going to be a wild ride. But let's get to the news. Roman Reigns bowed out of his match against Brock Lesnar last night at day one, and turns out that he tested positive for COVID. So that match and the Intercontinental Championship match was also pulled, no reason given why, which resulted in Brock Lesnar joining the WWE Heavyweight Championship match, Fatal 5-Way. Hey, what's up, Maddie? Slamcast. Maddie, is that Maddie Hawkins?
Yes, that is Maddie Hawkins.
Oh, sweet Maddie Hawkins, man. He is part of the effing Worldwide Media Production Studios, damn it. So Brock Lesnar, of course, made it a Fatal 5-Way and then walked away, pinning the champ in the middle of the ring after an F5. He pinned Big E, and he is now the new WWE World's Heavyweight Champion. I think I smell unification here. I don't know.
I was going to say that too. The other piece, they just unified the North American Championship and the Cruiserweight Championship.
Yeah, which will be called the North American Cruiserweight Championship. That's the originality that they came up with.
But they will be unifying, as this prediction here from JFB and Canada Dry, they will be unifying the WWE title and the Universal title. And Roman Reigns is going to be put over the moon.
Oh, of course, yeah. And I have a feeling that the higher ups are going to call this new championship the WWE Universal World Heavyweight Championship. It's going to be something very easy, something that rolls off the tongue, if you will.
Or what about the WWE Universe Championship? Yeah,
there you go. So for sad news for one of our friends of the show, Dallas, Tay Conti and Sammy Guevara are now officially a couple. They shared an Instagram. They are officially a couple. This is what I like to call duh. Who did not see this coming? This is not a swerve at all, period. This was well seen coming out of the woodworks. WWE is backed off of their no COVID testing policies. They sent out emails that they were going to stop testing employees for COVID. They have backed off of that. They still require all the stars and anybody backstage wear a mask, and they are recommending that everybody get shots. I have seen a huge influx of not only friends of the show, but friends of mine also that are coming up COVID positive. Guys, wear a mask and get the shot. It's not that hard. It's 5-10 minutes out of your day.
Then this backtracking, we're no longer going to test people. Like,
yeah,
that doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense, but they should, because Omicron and then there's Florian.
I think they're going to flip flop in a week or two.
Wow. Yeah, I think they're going to as well. The UK promotion Progress has a new owner, which is good news because they are going to return to live events. That's awesome. If you really want to see British strong style wrestling, that is the promotion to watch. I would not have known of Malachi Black if it wasn't for Progress, where he wrestled as Tommy End. You have some amazing wrestlers who have come through those doors, who have gone on to bigger, brighter things. Will Ospreay has wrestled for them. Walter has wrestled for them. Woo! Progress, baby. Progress is a great promotion. If you can, there are streaming services that carry their programs. And then now that they're going to live events, we might see more stuff from Progress. Mercedes Martinez, All Elite. She attacked Thunder Rosa. Everybody was wondering, Progress news pointless as US has nicked all our best wrestlers. That's true, Mr. Haney. We have stolen all your wrestlers.
That's such a Haney comment.
Toni Storm got released after she quit. There's no substantial news or any truth as to the reasons why, but she basically packed her bags and said she had enough, which boggles my mind because she was in the middle of a series of matches with the heavyweight champ, or with the women's champ, Charlotte Flair. I'm not sure why she quit. She's not really come out and said why. other than she's no longer with WWE. Once
Have you got the quote that they released this morning?
Oh, what was the quote she released this morning? I forgot to add it.
Let me just pull that up quickly. Take me 2 seconds. So she said, WWE has been very demanding. I miss my cousin's wedding, Christmas, my nephew's circumcision, and my father's intervention. I come to realize my dream of the WWE star is nothing more than sacrificing my time just to put over some bitch that really feels we must bow down to her, not just in the ring, but off camera. Perhaps I should go somewhere else where I can make an impact. Tony Storm.
Wow. Well, here's the thing. If you're going to be a professional wrestler, and I know this because I know a few wrestlers, especially when you're talking about higher ups in the WWE, you're on the road 300 plus days out of the year. That hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. There's a
great documentary called 365.
Yeah, exactly. Which is a great documentary on Amazon Prime. You're on the road because you have live shows. Alex Haney, World's Smallest Violin, is playing. You're on the road all the time. You have to make sacrifices. Ask Charlotte Flair how often Rick was at her volleyball matches, or was at her meets, or was at her senior prom or graduation or anything like that. Probably the answer is 0.
So do you think that Tony Storm was going to get the belt?
I don't know if she was going to get the belt, but I think she was going to be in contention for a while. I mean, she's over. It wouldn't be a bad thing to put the belt on her.
The interesting part of that is she says Impact and not AEW.
Yeah. I'd love to see her in Impact. I mean, Impact is huge over in the UK.
Well, that's where her boy is.
Yeah. So, and that's where her boyfriend or fiance or husband or whatever, that's where he is. So, Jim Ross, cancer-free. Congratulations, Mr. JR. He is now cancer-free. He was at Wednesday Night Dynamite, announcing as always, which is always good to see. Blast from the past, Shawn X-Pac Waltman has been medically cleared to wrestle. So my question is, do we see him at Royal Rumble?
That's the only place I could see him entering.
Yeah.
What's his name is going to be entering as well?
Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, Johnny Knoxville. That's pretty cool.
The King Jackass himself
can enter. Shawn Waltman can enter.
I have a feeling X-Pac is going to be a surprise guest at the Royal Rumble. Last one, Davey Richards signs a multi-year deal with MLW, which is huge. I'm a huge Davey Richards mark. I was when he was in Impact. I'm a huge mark for them, for Davey Richards. I think he's a great talent. Don't necessarily agree with his worldviews, but as a wrestler, that guy kicks some serious ass. So,
except in WWE.
Except in WWE, yeah, where he kind of just went. Ugh. All right, so we're done with the dark match, the news. Now let's get into the main event, and we have an intro for that because season 2 we're pulling out all the stops. We got an intro for you. Ready? Here we go. Let's get ready for the main event.
Gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
$1 million, baby.
That's
$1
awesome.
million
That's
bucks.
Awesome. we got lights, we got flash, we got lasers, we got all the bells and whistles.
We got everything because we put a lot of money into season 2. Production value has increased tremendously. Canada Dry's got a 1080p video computer camera. I'm upgrading my laptop. We're telling you, man, we're spending the money in the right places. We're not gonna jip you guys.
How off everything was, and it was like it was bad when we first started, but
it was horrible. We are season 2. You got to pull out all the stops. So today we're talking about the top 10 Intercontinental champions. Now, we took the top 4 and put it out to vote, and on Twitter, and of course everybody went ahead and voted. But before we get into our top 10, let's go ahead and talk about some of our honorable mentions, guys who did not make our top 10 list. Now, mind you, this is our top 10. This is just our opinion.
Yeah,
These are guys.
this isn't the be all and end all of Intercontinental Championship.
Your top 10 may differ, which is great, and we respect your opinion.
What you guys think on this? Make your comments.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so one of the honorable mentions, let's talk about Tito Santana. He had 2 title reigns for a total of 443 days. Tito was a great. He was a really good Intercontinental champion. I have no doubts about that.
I would like to mention Roddy Piper, because Alex Haney said he would boycott the show if we did not put over his boy Roddy Piper. So he had a short reign as Intercontinental champion, but he helped put over Bret Hart at WrestleMania. So
he's okay in our book.
That match was awesome. So.
Yeah, and I love Piper. Everybody knows I'm a huge Piper nut. Hell, I named my car Roddy Piper. So, Pedro Morales, he had 2 title reigns for a total of 619 days, which is the most days held in WWE history books for Intercontinental champion.
You know what's interesting about Pedro Morales is in the 80s he was putting over everyone.
Oh yeah. He was on the tail end of his career.
Yeah, he was.
He put everybody over. And then, of course, there's Don Morocco, our last of the honorable mentions. 2 reigns, 541 total days with the belt. Maddie, you're right. Piper did not need the belt. He didn't need the belt at all, period. He was...
Piper actually... I learned something. Haney said that Bret Hart was sick and he was supposed to win the title back from the Mountie.
Yeah. So
Piper ended up getting it and then gave it back to Bret at Mania.
Yeah. That's the way it should be. So let's talk about the Intercontinental title. Before we get into it, the Intercontinental title is a little different than the World Championship title. And some people see it as a secondary title. But really, it was the wrestlers that won this belt, that carried this belt.
Well, especially in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, especially in the 80s. This was a launching pad. If you were a workhorse, likelihood is you were going to have this belt before you jumped over to win the championship, the heavyweight championship. And so for us, we wanted to pick a group of guys that we watched. And that was the big criteria. These are the guys. It's the workers' title. You're right, Maddie. It is the workers' title. And we wanted to recognize the wrestlers that we watched and that we enjoyed watching, defending, and fighting for this belt.
Yeah, we might have put the top 4 on Twitter for you to vote for, but you put what the order was.
Yeah. Can't blame us for the top 4. That was all you're doing. So let's go with number 10. And then, of course, we're going to talk about Mr. Ravishing Rick Rude. I'll give you my notes. Very few people were as a complete package as Rick Rude was. I mean, hell, he was on both Raw and Nitro on the same damn night. He could kill you physically as well as psychologically. He would taunt his opponents. He made women swoon in the stands. He was everything that you were not. No truth has been uttered that this guy, he spray painted the wives and girlfriends of his opponents. Joseph Graham, quit letting Twitter choose. He spray painted their faces on his crotch, on his tights. How badass are you? The only other person I could think of psychologically that was better than Rick Rude, was Jake the Snake Roberts. And I think those two knew 100% how to really get into under the skin. What are your thoughts on Mr. Rude?
Well, Ravishing Rick Rude, one of the most underrated wrestlers in the history of wrestling.
Yeah.
He was very, very innovative with that whole shtick he did with the, like behave while I take my robe off thing. I don't know the exact quote, but
Yeah.
yeah, like Ravishing Rick Rude. So many people tried to copy him after that, but failed.
Oh, yeah.
But Ravishing Rick Rude, giving him that Intercontinental title, it was the perfect person at the right time, and just a wonderful, wonderful heel. Top 10 heels, like he really he should be on the top 10 heels in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that just more people hated and reviled than Rick Rude. And I mean, you're the man when you're on both Nitro and Raw at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's go to number 9. We're talking about the best there was, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, ladies and gentlemen. A Canadian Walk of Fame recipient, Bret Hart. Go ahead, lay down the smack on the beautiful Bret Hart.
Well, what can you say about Bret Hart that hasn't already been said? And he's only number 9 because he's more known as a world champion than Intercontinental. Like if he was just an Intercontinental champion, he'd probably be 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But he's more known as the world champion. That match with Mr. Perfect where he won the title. Wow. That was just 2 beautiful technical wrestlers going back and forth. They just put on a show.
Yeah, it was a clinic. I mean, he would always be known as a wrestler's wrestler, hence his time with the strap. While he held the belt, he did the strap well and proud. He was a total and complete package. He held the strap on 2 occasions, of course, being Mr. Perfect, and then besting the Rowdy one, as we talked about earlier. As with many that held the strap, it carried him to the next level, where he would become a multi-time world champion. He was a wrestler's wrestler. I mean, there was no doubt about it. He was respected.
And the only reason he's number 9 is because he's more known as the world champion.
Yeah, because he's more known as the world champion. So let's go to numero 8, the showstopper, baby. Shawn Michaels, number 8.
Boy. I'm not your boy toy.
While many will debate his part in pro wrestling, one thing can be said about him, that he's probably one of the greatest performers of all time. He is a 3-time winner of the belt, first winning it from the British Bulldog in 92, his final reign ending a few months before winning the world championship. No one will ever forget the battles with Razor Ramon and their fight for the title to become the true IC champion. Again, this is a guy who, he's a workhorse, and say what you will about Shawn Michaels. I'm not a huge Shawn Michaels fan, but anybody that puts their body on the line to tell a story and to entertain a crowd is okay in my book.
You know what? I really like this Matty guy. Like he's got some great takes.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Mr. Shawn Michaels?
Matty has also something in common with us. He is an honorary Canadian as well.
Oh, excellent. Canada. Welcome to the tribe. So what are your thoughts on Shawn?
Shawn Michaels, great performer.
Yeah.
I didn't like him as a person. He had a life change, so I guess I shouldn't hold a grudge forever. So if you're watching Shawn Michaels, let's bury the hatchet on Raw, and I'll give you a hug.
That's it. That works for me. That'd be good. Bury the hatchet, man. We got a lot of hatchets to bury. Yeah. All right, let's go to our number 7. Okay, I don't know. Vince was having a Linda day. Alex Haney, I can't wait to have you back on the show. You cracked me up. Number 7, of course, is The Miz, Canada Dry. Sing the sweet song about The Miz.
Well, The Miz, if there was a Muppet movie, I would cast him as Kermit the Frog. Look at him. He looks like Kermit.
He does look a little bit like Kermit. He's got a Kermit-esque quality to him.
The Miz, but The Miz is a great talker. Yeah. He plays a great heel. I hated Miz as a face, but as a heel, He does a great job. Miz is underrated and underappreciated, but I think many years from now, he'll be remembered as one of the better Intercontinental champions.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, The Miz is awesome. There are wrestlers that have had the belt elevate them, and then there are wrestlers that have elevated the belt. And then there's The Miz, who falls basically into both categories. Overall, he's held the belt for 2 times. He's all-time total 8 in a total of 597 days. He's held the belt 8 times.
He's catching up to Jericho.
He's catching up to Jericho. And he's beating guys like Dolph Ziggler, Ambrose, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns for the strap. What's even mind-blowing is he's still wrestling. So there's a good chance he could eventually tie or beat the record of Chris Jericho. He did have 2 24-hour reigns with that belt. That is true. But total reigns is 597 days. That's nothing to sneeze at.
That's horrible booking to give the guy 24 hours. Like, why even bother?
Yeah. If you want to do that, give him the 24/7 championship.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to numero 6, and that, of course, is going to be Mr. Perfect. Man, listen, was there anything that this guy couldn't do or that wasn't perfect? He had total reigns of he had 2 reigns for a total of 406 days in total, landing 9th all time. As with most of the wrestlers on this list, the belt was the belt of the workhorse, and Perfect was exactly what made his reign, what made that perfect. What made his reign even more special is he is probably one of the greatest wrestlers to have never won a World's Heavyweight Championship in WWE. He was an AWA champion. He was a champion in other territories, but he never held Winged Eagle at all. Then in WWE, WWF. That's what made those title reigns with the Intercontinental Championship so special. What is your take on Mr. Perfect?
He is absolutely the perfect Intercontinental Champion. He just fits the role. Like,
yeah,
it's just like you're putting a round peg into a round hole. It's just a perfect fit.
Yeah.
I would have loved to seen him have a world championship run in WWE.
Oh, I agree.
Or even WCW, but having him the head of a company, even for a few months, would have been perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, him as the Intercontinental Champion, he was a heel, but just the way he was, I was a fan. I love Mr. Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, that the strut down the ramp, the way he used to chew his gum, spit it out, and swat it away.
I used to do that all the time.
So did I. So did I. He would toss the towel behind him. He had swagger. He had a swagger that no one else had. And I still don't think anybody's ever had that swagger like he has. But yeah, he should have had a world title. He should have had a world title shot. He should have at least carried it for at least be a transition champion.
Up to Ric Flair he could have been raised up to Ric Flair status.
Oh yeah,
if they would have let him be world champion.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's go to our number 5. This is the last of our picks before we get to the votes on Twitter. We're, of course, talking about the Honky Tonk Man. There were guys who were built for a certain belt. Flair, 10 pounds of gold, the Dudleys and tag team belts. And then there's the Honky Tonk Man, the Intercontinental Championship. No one in the history of the title. No one has held the belt longer in a single run than Honky. He held it for 454 days, taking it from Steamboat in 87 and then dropping it to the Ultimate Warrior at 88 at SummerSlam. Almost no name is synonymous with that belt in its history than the Honky Tonk Man. People love, when you talk Intercontinental Championship, people love to talk about Honky Tonk Man. They bring it up as if they're uttering the words of God. That is how much he is beloved when it comes to the IC Championship. lay the smackdown. What do you think about Honky at number 5?
Well, the tough thing about Honky Tonk Man is he wasn't that great of a wrestler.
Right.
But his persona, and it was almost because he wasn't that great of a wrestler.
Yeah.
That he held that belt for so long, and nobody could take it from him. He just found a way to sneak out with a victory. You just love to boo him.
Yeah.
Like he was reviled for that whole year that he had that belt.
Yeah. And he took on, I mean, he never ducked and ran from anybody. He took on contenders for the belt for sure. You know, here's the thing. If you ever get a chance, go on YouTube and watch Memphis Wrestling. He did a long stint in Memphis Wrestling with him and Jerry Lawler. Oh, excuse me. Him and Jerry Lawler. Back in the day, Honky Tonk Man was a really good wrestler. The WWE got him very much on the back end of his career. So, you know, he wasn't as agile. He didn't move around the ring as much.
Well, that belt was supposed to go to Brutus Beefcake.
Yeah.
And I guess Vince changed his mind.
Yeah.
And gave it to the Ultimate Warrior. I would have loved to seen Beefcake with that belt.
Oh, Brother Brutai with the belt. I think that would have been.
I would have loved to see Brutus the Barber Beefcake with that belt. It would have been great. But
I think it would have been awesome. But yeah, Honky Tonk Man number 5. So now we get into our top 4. This is as voted by you people on Twitter. My God, seriously, we leave it to you, and you guys came through, man. What an awesome. So we're going to go to our first one, number 4, Razor Ramon. Go ahead, wax poetic about Razor.
Razor Ramon. You want to talk about the bad guy? Razor Ramon. Razor, when he came in, just groundbreaking character with that accent and just that swagger he had. Like, he was dripping with machismo. Just like he should have stuck with that gimmick. I love the Razor Ramon character. That's so over the top, and he held that belt better than most. Yeah, that had that belt. Like Razor Ramon, such a great Intercontinental champion.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. You know, he's held the belt 4 times for a total of 438 days. He is a legend when it comes down to this belt. While not technically as sound as, say, Bret or Mr. Perfect, it was feuds that put him on the top. That feud with Shawn, the acme of being the WrestleMania 10 match, would cement Scott Hall, Razor Ramon as a made man. I mean, he is as synonymous with that belt as Honky Tonk Man is.
Well, if you remember that ladder match, that was Bret's idea for a match that he wanted with him. And they took it. Bret wasn't too happy about that.
But they tore the house down. I mean, that WrestleMania 10 that they did it again a couple years later at SummerSlam. I mean, really cemented. I mean, here's another guy, another AWA guy, Scott Hall. He was a tag team champion. He was a television champion. He was a U.S. champion in AWA. Comes to WWE, and what really cemented Scott Hall was those vignettes. I mean, I saw those vignettes, and I'm like, holy crap, who the hell is this guy? I couldn't wait to see Razor Ramon wrestle. And he, I mean, Bruce Pritchard, who produced all those vignettes in the 80s, really hit the nail on the head with Razor Ramon. And
I love that feud with him and Sean Waltman as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Him and the 1-2-3 Kid. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the underdog beating Scott Hall in the middle of the ring for a 1-2-3 was absolutely amazing. So big props to Razor Ramon. Big props to Scott Hall. Number 4 is voted by you guys. Let's go to your guys' number 3. That is, of course, Owen Hart. Oge, if you will.
Oge.
I'll leave it to you, man. Wax poetic about Owen.
Owen Hart, what can you say about one of the greatest wrestlers ever? This guy could do things that we can't even think of. Like, he was so innovative and ahead of his time. There's a belt that you can get online that is an Owen Hart Intercontinental Championship with the little Owen Hart thing. I want it. Like, it's so great. Someone said he should be number one.
Yeah.
I was hoping he'd get voted number one, but we got one people to decide. But yeah, like, he didn't really need the title.
Yeah.
But Owen Hart was a great Intercontinental champion.
Oh, he was. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he, Owen was the technical marvel in the ring. He was like a ring general.
The workhorse champion.
Yeah. Like his brother. I mean, he was just like his brother, and he was like Mr. Perfect. He was.
Maddie is demanding a revote. I don't know if you can do that.
You're not stealing this election, Maddie.
We're gonna storm.
We're gonna storm the worldwide. Well, that's Twitter for you. I mean, hey, we can post it on Facebook too, and let's see where that runs as well. So.
Maybe next time we'll post it on Facebook. We'll see what happens.
Wrestlers. He had 2 title reigns for a total of 132 days. Nothing super enormous about it, but that belt fit his who he was, and he was a workhorse. In WWE for sure. And I'll admit it, I'm an Owen Hart mark, and I'm not afraid. And both of us are, and both of us are not ashamed by it at all. So let's go to our numero dos. Break the walls down.
Break the walls down.
Nobody has held the belt more times than any wrestler. He had it a total of 9 times for a total of 318 days. He was a workhorse of a wrestler who booked not some of the amazing IC matches that ever was. The 4th reign by beating Benoit at the 2001 Royal Rumble. Beating Jeff Jarrett's record by winning his 6th at Unforgiven in 2004, and then his last in 2009 against Mysterio. These were just some of his best matches, and while his Hall of Fame career will be remembered for unifying the belts for the first time, he'll always be minded. He'll always be reminded and remembered for
Maddie.
This is a Canadian friendly list. There is no lie about that. He'll be known for his IC title run, and technically, I like to go ahead and say he's a 10-time champion because Chris Jericho did hold the IWGP Intercontinental belt as well, and I think that falls into the same. So that's 10. That's 10 times right there. So what are your thoughts on Mr. Jericho, Y2J?
I had this idea back when he was. I don't know if he lost the belt to Mysterio at all. Did he lose it in that feud with Mysterio? Remember that?
Yeah, he lost it to Mysterio like a couple weeks later.
I thought that it would have been great if he would have tried to retire the belt, just as a heel. Just like, listen, I've won this belt so many times. I'm going to retire it, and then they don't let him, obviously, but. I thought that would have been a great idea for Jericho to try and retire the Intercontinental Championship, and then, the feud continues from there.
I would, you know what? That's not a bad idea. I think if Jericho ever does go back to WWE, and let's give him another title run, but this time with the IC title, and let him retire it and say, from here on out, the Intercontinental title is retired. It will be known as the Jericho title from here on out. Something so heelish that you just have to say, damn, that man is brilliant. That man is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, he did. He lost it at a mask versus belt match.
But yeah, Jericho, he didn't really need that title, but sometimes they just gave it to him. To kind of keep this someone with credibility to keep that belt prestigious.
Yeah, I mean, there were times in the history of this belt where the belt lost its significance, and not pointing out any specific wrestler per se, but there was times when that belt didn't really represent what the belt should have been, and, nothing against those guys who held the belt, but, that belt has significance, and I mean, when you're growing up as a kid And a lot of these wrestlers that we watched when we were younger, Scott Hall and Mr. Perfect, Bret Hart, to me, we didn't understand the importance of that belt. It wasn't until we got older when we realized the real shooters here are the guys who are carrying this belt, not the glam and glitz like Hulk Hogan or Ultimate Warrior, who did actually have the belt. But it wasn't the glitz and the glamour like a Hogan or a Stone Cold or anything like that. So if we're going to bring New Japan and Nakamura should be on the list. I agree. But I agree. The IWGP definitely should be. Of course, it's no longer a belt anymore. It's been fused together with the heavyweight belt to create the IWGP.
It's now a neck tattoo. It's not a belt.
Yeah, it looks like a Cody Rhodes neck tattoo now. Well, speaking of which, hey, it's almost Wrestle Kingdom Day. A couple of days away, January 4th. I know I'm watching. I'll be up at 2:00 in the morning, damn it. So I'm going to watch it. Canada Dry, you'll be up at God knows what time watching it. And I'm sure Joseph Graham will as well, because there's no doubt.
Haney's watching.
Haney will watch it too, yeah, because Haney is a nut. All right, so let's get to our number one. This is voted by the fans, our number one, and it is, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Macho Man Randy Savage. Wax poetic Canada Dry about how awesome Randy Savage is.
To me, when I started watching, he was the champion.
Yeah.
The Intercontinental champion. He was my first Intercontinental champion. And he just held that belt so well. He was rivaling Hogan. He was on such a roll. Just that belt belonged to Macho Man. And that match with Ricky Steamboat, that's got to be one of the greatest matches of all time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I guess we got to give props to Ricky Steamboat as well, because honorable mention, because he was also a great champion.
Yeah, he was a great Intercontinental champion. I mean, for those who were around during the golden era, Macho was our first introduction to the Intercontinental Championship. While some of us were a little too young to understand the importance of this title, while he only had one reign, it was for 414 days. It was memorable. He defeated Tito Santana in '86. He took on all comers. With a foreign object. It wasn't a clean win. It was not a clean win by any shot of the imagination. But he would take on everybody, and his aerial attacks. It wasn't that he was a high flyer, but he had an aerial offense that was unrivaled back in that day. And I think it's still not as rivaled as it is today. I don't think anybody today has that prowess that Macho Man had. I mean, you have guys like Snuka, you have guys like the Luchas and some of the Japanese wrestlers that love jumping off the turnbuckle, but he had a way to attack his opponents.
I think Twitter got it right, voting Macho Man number one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's the foundation of that title.
Yeah, and what's really great about this is that what will be most memorable about that title reign, that 414-day reign, wasn't in winning, it was his defeat. And you're right, it was WrestleMania. It was WrestleMania 3. I mean, that was my introduction to pro wrestling as a fan. Yeah. Watching it live at my friend's house and then watching it again on tape, and seeing that match look like a ballet. And that's when I became a fan. And he would make me watch the Macho Man Intercontinental fights that he had on tape. And it was amazing. It was absolutely stunning.
And when Steamboat had pinned him, he whispered in Ricky's ear, "We did it, Steamboat. We did it." Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was WrestleMania 3. If you've never seen WrestleMania 3, the likelihood is you were either born within the last 5 years, 10 years, what are you doing listening to this podcast? You should be on the playground or playing Roblox or Minecraft or whatever the kids are playing. Or you've been living in a cave in a mountain in a foreign land, because no match has been more revered than the Macho Man Steamboat match from WrestleMania 3. So go watch it, damn it. Jeez, what are you waiting for? Go watch this stupid match. And then when you get a chance, watch the Macho Man documentary and watch the part when they talk about that match with Macho Man, and
You're talking about the A&E a little bit they did there, right?
What's that?
You're talking about the A&E special there, right?
Yeah, the A&E special, yeah. Or even the documentary on Peacock on the WWE network. There's a great documentary where Macho Man talks about going into the match and scripting it move to move, step to step. And you just realize how magical it is to be able to just watch this match and realize what went into it, the man hours and the time and energy that went into it. Makes you appreciate it even more. At least for me, it does. I don't know about anybody else, but I only speak for myself. So, but that is it. That's our top 10. I love it. We shouted out our honorable mentions. We could have had Pedro Morales and Don Morocco. They weren't around. They weren't around when we got into wrestling, and to be honest with you, like, hey, they could have, we could have easily put them on there, but it wouldn't have been fair for us.
When I put this on Twitter, we had a lot of comments from people that were born in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Who were talking about people who had held the belt. Like just different random people that don't deserve to be on the list. Like the people that held the belt in the last 20 years. There's a few people on the list, but not many should be on that list that held the belt in the last 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be the big criteria for us was, one, guys that we have watched, guys that we have watched that we grew up watching with the belt, but two, added prestige to the belt and added something. Do you have any outlandish predictions for 2022?
I think maybe that's maybe a future show.
Yeah, let's do. Yeah, I think a future show would be Mr. Graham would be to do. Maybe we'll have you on as a guest because I think that's a great thing, because I have some Chris Statlander out of this universe predictions for 2022 for sure. So I think that's going to be a near future episode for sure. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Leave comments. Hit the like button, of course.
Maybe he's still upset that Bret beat him.
Subscribe to this channel. Interact with us. We live stream every Sunday. It's again available on Monday on any podcast.
Guess
what?
Maddie here. Is running a trivia show on January 15th.
Oh,
on the FN Facebook page.
Sweet. So go to Facebook.
And so there's going to be a $25. Is it $25, Maddie? $25 gift card to either AEW shop or WWE shop, your choice.
Oh,
if
cool.
you win the trivia competition. I think there's 20 questions, and there's all sorts of bonus points and all sorts of stuff that you can, if you get it right, and someone will come along with the prize.
Yeah, we might have to splurge for the. We might have to splurge for the
$25 gift card that he's
$25 gift card. All right, we're gonna splurge. We're gonna spend some of this effing Worldwide Media Production Wrestling money, and we're gonna create an intro for the game show because I love doing intros.
Yeah.
That's my sweet spot.
Media guy here doing all that.
Thank you. So next week, I don't know what we're going to do next week. We fly by the seat of our pants. We do not outline or mark up on the calendar exactly what we're doing week to week. We fly, but we consensusly message each other usually on Wednesday to discuss what we're going to do on Sunday. You
got all the episodes numbered for this show. We got a season 2.
Yeah.
We're doing Wrestling with the Paranormal. I don't know how many episodes we got. I don't know. We just have an episode and we put it out there. Maybe
ladies and gentlemen, this is called ADHD. This is the reason why we season and index all our episodes, because I have ADHD really bad. So it helps me.
Maybe you need the detail. I'm just too lazy. I'm like, there's an episode. Watch it. Don't watch it.
Yeah, it's on. Just watch it. Whatevs. All right. So you, of course, can find us on www.fnwrestling.com. That is where all our social media links are, our YouTube page, our Facebook pages, our Twitter pages. You name it, we have it. It's on that page, FN Wrestling.
He's trying to put me in a red dress for this game show that we're going to do. I'm not wearing a red dress, damn it.
Alex Haney, trust me, you don't want to see Canada Dry in a red dress. Now, the JFB, you definitely don't want to see in a red dress. Red is not my color. You can also find us on
with that trivia show. Maybe me and you can take turns hosting that with him.
Oh yeah, heck yeah! I'll play Vanna White for an episode or two.
And you can do it as well. And
heck yeah, I'll nail that. Not a problem. I'll play Vanna White. Here's the letters right here.
Yeah.
All right. You can also find us on prowrestlingtees.com/FN Wrestling. You can get the Canada Dry shirt. You can get the Owen Hart shirt, the FN Fingers shirt, 21-3. Oh, hey, thanks, Justin. I was going to start watching the game, but 21-3 makes me a happy camper because of course, I'm a Patriots fan. So coming in with the breaking news is Justin, man. So before we end the show, I know the New Year's, everybody gets a little busy with the holidays, Christmas and New Year's. What's the update with Hulk Hogan?
Okay, so me and him, we start up the year. He apologized for being an asshole his whole career, so that was good. I apologize for talking shit about him all year on season 1. So he says he's going to try and work us into his schedule to come on the show.
Yeah,
but he has a list of demands.
Oh, geez.
He wants only green M&Ms. Just a big bowl of green M&Ms.
Okay.
So we'll find out what his other demand is next week. I don't know what it is.
Jeez, green M&Ms.
He told me that, and he's left me on hanging after that. So we'll find out on his list of demands.
Okay.
But Hulk Hogan, since you didn't officially agree to come on the show, that's FN Wrestling 367.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan 0. Canada Dry out.